Hello everybody! So today we are going to learn about why subtraction is called finding the difference. We're going to learn another strategy to help us subtract numbers. So I'm just going to share the learning objective with you. Okay, so today we're going to find the difference between two numbers. And this is an analysing lesson because we're going to be experimenting with different strategies and thinking about which ones are most appropriate at which times. So the first thing you need to do to be successful is to explain the term difference. Then you're going to be able to use a number line to find the difference. And then you're going to be comparing this to other subtraction methods. So first of all, why do we call it finding the difference? Let's have a look at this calculation here. If I start with something really simple to show you, 6 take away 4. Here's a number line, and here is the minuend, 6. If I put the other numbers on, we learnt last time about using the empty number line to count back. So if we're subtracting 4, we are taking away 4. So we learnt 1, 2, 3, 4, counting back in chunks of 1. And the answer was 2. But when we find the difference, what we're actually doing is saying how many numbers are between 6 and 4. We can see that by saying 1, 2. So the answer is 2. So we're not using the term difference, like what is different about the numbers. We're using the term difference to explain how many numbers are between the minuend and the subtrahend. So let me show you that again. If we had the calculation 64 take away 60, what we're doing is saying how many numbers are between the minuend and the subtrahend. We're taking away 60. How many numbers are between them? We know that the numbers between them are 61, 62, 63, 64. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers between them. So the difference between 64 and 60 is 4. So that is another strategy that we can use to subtract. That's why we call subtraction finding the difference. We're finding how many numbers are between the minuend and the subtrahend. Pause the video now and see if you can have a go at explaining that in your own words. You could draw something in your book if you want to, or write it down if you prefer. Off you go. Have you done that? Well done. So we've achieved success criteria 1 to explain the term difference. So now we're going to have a look at all of the strategies that we've learned for subtraction so far. And we're going to have a go later on at using different strategies and thinking about which is the best to use and when. So the first strategy is subtracting the 10s from the 10s and the 1s from the 1s. So some of you have been doing this with your deans, some of you have been using your pictorial jotting, and some of you are now able to do it in your head, which is amazing. So let's have a go at 27 take away 22. We can do take away our 2 10s from our 2 tens, so we're left with 0 tens. And then we can take away 2 ones from 7 ones, which equal 5. So the answer is 5, because we haven't got any tens left and we've only got 5 ones. So if you did that in a pictorial jotting, you would have your 2 tens, your 7 ones, you would subtract your 2 ones and subtract your 2 tens, and you can see we're left with 5 ones. Okay, so 53 take away 18, we'll do the same thing. You can use a pictorial jotting if you prefer. I'll show you the abstract now because most of you are using that. 5 tens take away 1 10 equals 6 tens, and 3 tens take away 8. We've realised we need to regroup. So if you're using the abstract, you are repartitioning your 53, taking one of those tens away to regroup it into the ones column. So we have got 4 tens now, which are 40, and an extra 10 in the ones column. 3 add 10 is 13. So now we can take our 8 away from 13, which equals 5. So we'll have 5 ones, and we've still got those 4 tens there, so that's 45. Please don't worry if you don't understand the abstract strategy for that. You can always use your pictorial jotting because that's so useful. So you have got your 5 tens, your 3 ones, taking away 18, so we don't have 8 to take away. We need to regroup. So we'll put our 10 ones on here. Just going to double check that I've definitely done 10. I've not done 1 too many or 1 too less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Yes. Now we can subtract 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I need to take away the 1 from the tens column. Oh, can you spot my mistake? Well done. I already had subtracted the 10, didn't I? So I've done 1 10, subtracted 1 10 too many. That's why it's always really important to check what you're doing, to have another go again, double check. Okay, so that was our pictorial jotting strategy, or our abstract strategy of subtracting the tens from the tens and the ones from the ones. So now it's your turn. Pause the video now and have a go at this calculation. Did you get that? Well done. So the answer was 41. Fantastic. Okay, the next strategy is to use our known facts, the facts that we've already learned and that are already there in our heads. So if we had 20 take away 6, well, we don't need to use a pictorial jotting for that. We already know it. We know that because we know our number bonds. We know that 6 add 14 equals 20. So we know that 20 take away 6 equals 14. Do you remember our cherry models? We know that 6 add 14 equals 20. So that we know if we take one of those parts away, then we're left with the other part, which is 14. Okay, and 100 take away 60. Again, our cherry models. What do we know about 60? What is its pair to make 100? Well done, it's 40. And we know that because we know 6 add 4 equals 10. So we know that 60 add 40 equals 100. So again, if we take one of those parts away from 100, then we're left with the other part. So the answer is 40. Okay, your turn. Pause the video now and have a go at doing that one using what you know already. Off you go. Have you done that? Well done. The answer was 3. And again, we know that because of our Cherry models. We know that 17 add 3 equal 20. So we know if we take 17 away, we're left with the other part of the number, which is 3. Well done. Okay, the third strategy was the strategy that we learned yesterday, using an empty number line to count back. So let me show you this again. We draw our number line, we put our minuends on this side, 78, and we're counting back 12 in sensible jumps. So I know that 12 is made up of 10 and 2. So first of all, I'm going to jump back 10. And if I jump back 10, I'm taking away 10 from 78, which gives me 68. And then I need to jump back 2 because I've still got 2 to take away. So 68 take away 2 is 66. So the answer is 66. Okay. If we have a go at 65 take away 38, again, I'll draw my number line. I'll put my minuend on this side, and then I need to look at my subtrahend to see what I'm subtracting. So I need to take away 3 10s first of all. So I'm going to jump back in 10s 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to remind myself that I'm jumping back in 10s, not in 1s or 2s or 5s. So then if I take 10 away from 65, I've got 55. 10 away again, I've got 45. And 10 away again, and I have 35. Now I need to look at my 1s, and I've got 8 to take away, so I can count back in 1s. I could count back in 5 and then 3 more. I could count back in 2s. That's up to you. I'm going to count back in 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm running out of space. Okay. So let's count back 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27. Make sure you leave yourself enough space, unlike me, to so that you've got enough space to actually work out the answer. Okay. Right, now it's your turn to have a go using the empty number line to work out this calculation here. So pause the video now and off you go. Have you done that? Well done. The answer was 28. If you didn't get that right, have another go to see if you can work out what you did wrong. Okay, so finally, our final strategy that we're learning today is then using the empty number line to count on. So finding the difference by counting on and looking at how many numbers are in between your minuend and your subtrahend. Okay, this is a good strategy to use when your minuend and your subtrahend are close together. Okay, 78 and 67 are quite close together. If you did 78 and you wanted to count back 67, it's going to take you a long time, even if you jump in 10s and then 7 1s. Again, if you draw your pictorial jotting and you draw out 78, it's going to take a long time, and then crossing out 67. What we can do instead is just find the difference between the two numbers, see how many numbers are between the two because they're close together. So we can put our minuend over here, our subtrahend over here, and count to see how many numbers are between. So I'm going to do this by thinking I'm going to use my number bonds and say, how many more do I need to get to the next 10? The next 10 after 67 would be 70. That's the next multiple of 10. And I'm going to use my number bonds. 7 add what gives us the next 10? 7 add 3. Well done. So I'll put 3 in there. And then I can think, how can I get from 70 to 78? How many numbers are between 70 and 78? What do I need to add to 70 to get to 78? Well done. You can see it's 8 because there's 8 ones that have been added. So we'll jump on 8. Now we can just add 8 and 3 together to work out how many numbers are between. So we know that 8 and 2 makes 10, so 8 and 3 must make 11. So the answer is 11. Now let's have a look at the next one. Let me show you again. 25 take away 19. So I'll put my minuend over here and my subtrahend over here. And I'm counting how many numbers are between these two numbers. Some of you might be able to tell me straight away. You might be able to see how many numbers are in between those numbers straight away using your mental strategies, knowing that 19 is 1 less than 20 and there are 5 until you get to 25. So it's 5 and 1 makes 6. Some of you might not be able to see that straight away, and that's absolutely fine. You can use this number line to help you. So we're looking at 19 and we'll say, how many numbers do we need to get us to the next 10? What would the next 10 be after 19? Well done, it's 20. How many numbers are between 19 and 20? 1. So we put that in there. And then, now that we're at the same 10 as we are with 20 and 25, all we need to do is think how many numbers are between 20 and 25. Well done, it's 5. So then we add those together, 5 and 1 make 6. That's how many numbers are between 19 and 25. So we found the difference. Well done. Okay, now it is your turn to have a go at that strategy. I would like you to have a go at doing this question on the board here. When you pause, if you pause the video, oh, my computer's decided to have a funny moment. Hold on. If you pause the video in a moment, you can use your empty number line to count on to find the difference between 37 take away 29. Off you go. Have you done that? Well done. The answer was 8. If you didn't get that right, have another go and see where you might have gone wrong. Okay, so if we look back at our learning objective now, we've been able to explain the term difference, and we know that subtraction is when we're finding how many numbers are between two numbers. And you can use a number line to find the difference. You've just had a go at doing that. Well done. Before you move on, if you'd like to know about a 5th strategy that you can use, you can stop the video here and watch another tutorial on a 5th mental strategy that you can use to help you with your subtractions. But if you feel like that's enough for now and that you want to just have a practice with what you've learned so far, then skip that part and go straight on to the next bit. Okay, so now it's your turn to have a go and have a practice at using these different strategies. If you feel like you're just kind of understanding, finding the difference between two numbers and using the number line to count on, and you just want to practice that strategy, then choose challenge 1. So you're going to find the difference by counting on a number line to see how many numbers are between. So just what we've just been doing, using these calculations, okay? If you'd like a bit more of a challenge, then challenge 2 is for each calculation, I want you to find the difference by counting on, and then either count back on an empty number line or use a pictorial jotting to subtract and see which one was easier and explain why for each one. So, for example, if you've got the first one, 56 take away 9, you are going to do your, first of all, use the number line to find the difference, see how many numbers are between. So start at 56 over here, and your subtrahend over here, 9, and you're going to find the difference between those two numbers. So 9, let's go to the next 10, which will be 10. We've added 1 to get there. Now I want to get to 50, so I'm going to jump in tens, 20, 30, 40, 50. Fill that in to make sure that I've not gone wrong somewhere. Okay, and then I'm going to fill in how many numbers are between 10 and 20. That's 10, 10, 10, 10. And then I need to jump from 50 to 56. How many numbers are between 50 and 56? 6. Now I need to add all these up to find the difference. 10, 20, 30, 40. Add 6 is 46. Add another one is 47. Okay, so that was that strategy. Now I'm going to do the same using a pictorial jotting because I want to see which one's easier. I need to take away 9. Have I got enough? No, I need to regroup. And now I can subtract my 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now I can see how much I've got left. Okay, so you'll do those two strategies. Always do this one. And then here you can choose whether to use this pictorial jotting or an empty number line to count back 9. And see, or you could do all 3 for each question if you really want to challenge yourself. And then underneath, I want you to explain which one you thought was easier and why. So it might be that you found both of them took about the same time, because in the pictorial jotting, you had to regroup. But with the counting on, it was quite a long way from 9 to 56. So actually, both of them took about the same amount of time. It might be that if you use the empty number line to count back, that's probably the quickest strategy to use for this one, because 9 isn't very much to count back. Okay, so I want you to think which one was the easier one for each calculation that you've got to do on challenge 2. If you want to have a go at challenge 3, we've got some larger numbers here, so you're going to have to really think about your place value as well as your subtraction. But I also want you to think about, before you start, which strategy will I use and why? So you're trying to choose the most efficient strategy for each calculation, because some strategies will be good for some calculations and others will be better for others. So I want you to look at it, 237 take away 52, and decide which strategy you're going to use and how you're going to do it, and explain why you're going to do that one, and then calculate it. It might be that there's another strategy and another way that you're going to do it that makes sense to you that we haven't gone through today, in which case do that and explain how you've done it, because that would be fantastic. Okay, pause the video now and have a go at your challenge. Have you done those? Well done, everybody. I can't wait to see how you got on with it. So if we look back at our learning objective again, we've explained what the term difference is. We've used the number line to find the difference. Either whether you've counted back or counted on, you're still always finding the difference, because that's what subtraction is. It's also taking away and reducing the number that you've got, but also how many numbers are between the two numbers. And if you did challenge 2 or challenge 3, you've compared it to other subtraction methods. So you've really been thinking about which one's best and why. If you did challenge 1, you won't have achieved success criteria 3 yet, and that's okay. We can move on to that in the next few lessons, okay? So what I want you to do now is have a bit of a reflection time and really think through, when is it useful to find the difference by counting on instead of counting back? And how will you use this strategy in future? When will you use it? When is it useful to you? So pause the video, have a real think about that, talk to somebody else about it before you write it down to get your thoughts really clear, and then write it down in your book so I can see what you think. Off you go. Have you done that? Well done. And finally, we've got a question for you to finish on. So there are 2 number lines here. I want you to find the difference between A and B. Now you've got to think about this carefully because the numbers aren't marked. You need to work out what the numbers are. And the numbers, the scale that you need to count up in is different on each number line. Okay, so be careful here. You need to think about, what are these marks representing on this number line? So what are the jumps going up in here to get to 20? So what number is this? What number is this? What number is this? What number is this? And then what number would that be? Once you've worked out what number that is, you need to look at this number line separately and think, well, how many numbers are between 20 and 40? What are these jumps going up in? And once you've worked out what these numbers are, you can work out what B is, and you can find then the difference between A and B. So you need to think that through really carefully. Okay, once you've had a go at that, you can stop the video because that's the end of the lesson. Well done, everybody. I can't wait to see your super work. Bye.